shared some of my portfolio with you guys. So the platform that I use, I actually use two platforms, but I'm just going to go over one platform today. So I use Crowdcube, which is really popular in the UK, and I think around Europe as well. There are a lot of companies that find their way onto Crowdcube every single week, and they're all just small to maybe medium-sized companies that are looking for investors, but not from your traditional major investment funds. They're actually looking for regular people like me and you. So I think it's a great way to get into companies before they become this massive company that's listed on the stock market and they're already worth $100 billion. And, if only he's able to invest when they're only worth, $2 or $3 million or £3 million. And that's the whole idea behind Crowdcube. It's actually to get the normal people involved into investing in startups. Now, what you do have to remember is when you do invest in companies that are, pre-stock market, there is a lot of risk. A lot of the companies on here are not in profit. A lot of the companies here are, high risk ideas. A lot of the companies here are new to business as well, and they're in a position where they've seen a lot of growth and they want to take it to the next level. A lot of the companies here also have a little bit of debt. I mean, a lot of these characteristics can be similar to some listed companies. However, when you are investing in this way, there is a lot of risk. But hey, if you get it right, the reward is colossal. There are a few companies that have gone through crowdfunding. The likes of Monzo have been on similar platforms. The likes of Revolut, they've been on similar platforms, and they're worth billions of pounds/dollars. So if you ever wanted to get involved before a company gets big, or before the sort of big time investors get involved, this is a great place to start. And the great thing about crowdfunding is, you can invest from as little as £10. And, that's, you don't have to invest, £10,000 or £50,000. You can literally go in very, very small and, increase your positions as they go for more funding throughout the years. And sometimes I do recommend, I can't recommend because, can't sort of give out advice, but what I've done in the past is I've invested in companies that, they look good on the outside, but I'm not sure if I want to invest a lot of money in. But I say, I'm going to invest £10. And the reason why I'm investing £10, because sometimes when they do their second round of funding, they go to initial investors first. So you get the first pick of the shares that are available. So sometimes you might say, hey, this company looks really good, but I'm not sure, they seem a bit risky at the moment, and I'm not sure that I want to invest my money into it. So what I do, I invest a cheeky £10 in the stock, and then over the next 12 months, they might turn out to do very, very well. They've tripled their value, and they say, instead of, going to all investors that are out there, we want to go back to our original investors and say, hey, do you want the opportunity to invest in the company again? And you get first dibs. So, it's always worth, going for companies initially that you're not too sure about, and then having the opportunity to get first dibs. I mean, this doesn't happen all of the time, but it's happened to me on a couple of occasions. I think I've got an example in my portfolio that I can share. I'm not too sure, it might be on one of my other platforms, but what I will do is show you my portfolio. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and show you from the bottom up in terms of my earliest investments, and then show you my sort of latest investments. So there you go. So my first investment, wow. So the payment was collected, I don't know if you guys can see this, which is the 11th of the 8th, 2018. So for those in America, that would be the 11th of August. And that was for £100 in a company called Chewy Moon. Then I invested in a company called Propify, which are sort of an investment company that they're sort of they help with bridging loans for people who are building houses, I believe. I've got 20 quid or £20 in invested in Monty's Deli. Got £10 invested in Playbrew, which is sort of a craft beer company. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I've booked a lot of holidays with this company. I mean, I'm assuming they're not doing too well right now because the travel industry has been hit massively. But if you like your luxury holidays, definitely book with Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I've used them multiple times, and I recommend their service. They've been a really good company to use, and I invested £125 in the company. Now, Go Henry, I don't know if you guys have seen this. It's a really popular company in the UK and in the US, and basically it's the ability to give your children a debit card a debit card, and teach them how to sort of use money. And you can sort of transfer money in if they, wash the dishes or, tidy their room, and you can top up their accounts, and you can sort of watch how they spend money and sort of teach them the value of money and teach them how to use money. And I invested £12 at that time. I invested £10 in Nibbling Jewelry, which is sort of another baby company. I was lucky enough to invest in Crowdcube, the company itself. I'm a little bit upset I didn't invest more money. So I only invested £160, but that £160 is probably worth double now than when I actually did invest. So I'm really happy about that. Coconut, they're a sort of business account company where they offer business accounts to sole traders, and yeah, they're doing pretty well. They're actually valued at 3 times their value now than when I invested in 2019. I think they're actually giving people the opportunity to invest right now. So if anyone's interested in researching a company, they find it interesting, I'd say it's one to look at. Unity Cars, I wouldn't say it's a Tesla rival, but they are an electric car company. This company I wasn't too sure about, so I only put a cheeky £20 into the company. But yeah, they're doing all right so far. So it's a company that I think a lot of people should look into. It's the way I would say it's smart cars, but the electric version of smart cars. So you can take a look at that whenever you're interested. N-House, these are prefabricated houses. I think I actually invested in them twice, once here and once on another crowdfunding platform. So it's really interesting how a company, they're doing pretty well right now as well. If anyone works in and around London, I'm probably sure that you haven't worked too far from Grind, which is sort of, it's mainly known as a coffee shop. I work in, not to give out too much information, but I work in near Soho in London, and they've got a coffee shop there, which I love. I grab a coffee there every morning. I obviously haven't done that for a few months because of lockdown and the whole COVID situation, but when I do return back to the office, I will return back to Grind because they do excellent coffees. And last but not, nope, I've got one more before the last but not least. Alfinity, yeah, they're a decent company. Didn't invest money into them. They're more of a social enterprise as well. So for me, I felt like I was given to charity when I invested in this company because they're doing a lot of things to help people manage their money. So it's a company that people should look into, and I think they've won quite a few awards, if I'm not mistaken. Go Henry. So as you can see, this is the second time I've invested in Go Henry, and as you can see, the first time I only invested £12, and the second time I decided to invest close to £100. If anyone's into their cars like I am, and often on YouTube to watch drag races, I've invested £100 in CarWow. To be fair, their business model is a really good model. The car business is a very competitive market, and they've got a very compelling business. They are valued at quite a lot of money. I'm assuming things have slowed down due to the COVID situation, but it's actually a way to buy a car. Makes it easier to buy cars online. So, they might have done decently well compared to some other sort of car based companies. So you should really look into their business model, and I think they're one for the future. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see them on the stock market in the next 3 to 5 years. And if I get the opportunity to invest again in Carwow, I definitely will be doing it. And as you can see here, one right at the top, £1,132.01 was invested in a particular company. Now, I'm about to show you, people might have saw it slightly earlier when I scrolled up too much. The payment actually hasn't processed because they had so many people invest in the company that they're actually taking very long to take my money. So they haven't taken it yet, but they will be taking it in the next two weeks, I believe, from an email that I've received recently. And excuse me, the company is Free Trade. So you guys know this is the investment platform that I use to buy all of my stocks at the moment. In the past, I've used IG when I've run CFDs and bought stocks, but I'm all in on Free Trade. And since I'm going to be owning part of the company, it's best that I use the platform as well. I think they're a great company. Obviously, they have competitors in the US, such as Robinhood, which are significantly better than Free Trade, I have to be honest. But Free Trade, they're doing a lot of big things, and they're doing really good things as well. And I'm really impressed with the growth that I've seen recently, and I'm really impressed in the way that they're moving their business forward. And Free Trade is definitely one to look out for in the future. So I thought I would be pretty bullish straight on and invest over £1,000. And if they decide to go for crowdfunding again, and they continue in the trajectory that I've seen so far, it could be £5,000, £10,000 that I invest in Free Trade, because I really believe in them. They will have competition very, very soon. I know there's a couple companies coming out of Germany. Robinhood is coming to the UK soon. There's Trading 212, who's already quite an established company in the UK. So they do have the competitors. So, this is still very, very, very risky in terms of investment. But, if you don't take the risk, you don't get reward. I will go into more detail in the future about my whole Crowdcube, crowdfunded investment portfolio, but I thought it would be nice to give you sort of the basics now. And yeah, hopefully I'll be investing in more companies in the future. There's quite a few here. Quite a lot of the companies are overfunding at the moment, which is very impressive. There you go. Look, Coconut, they are looking for investment again. There's 6 days left. Their money value is £12 million. Let's take a look at how much they were worth when I invested. So I invested 1st of August. Let's have a look. Look, their pre-money value was 8.5 million. So on paper, exclamation mark, I have made a return on my money. I mean, the thing about this is it's not liquid, so I can't just take out my money today. It's not like stocks. It's very, very high risk, and as you can see in the right hand corner, your capital is at risk. So please be very wary when you invest in crowdfunding companies, because it is a risk. But these are very high growth companies. So if you do pick the right company to invest in, you can do very, very well within 3 to 5 to 7 years and cash out with a massive return. I mean, I've seen some people that have seen 2,000% returns on companies that they just decided to take a punt on. So if you're looking for high risk, high growth, Crowdcube and other crowdfunding companies are the way to go. But yeah, please beware. It is very difficult to get your money out of these companies once you invest. It's not like a stock where you can buy it on Monday and sell it on Friday for, and make a profit or take a loss. I cannot sell my shares in these companies because they're not listed companies, and it's not very easy to transfer the ownership of shares in particular companies. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching another video, and yeah, I will be back. I might be back on the other portfolio to show what I've invested in my other crowdfunding portfolio, but I thought, Crowdcube is my favorite one, so I'll just show you more about Crowdcube. Anyway, thanks guys, and see you soon with a new video.